Hello and welcome to the One I Have Spare Time podcast. We're doing a sit-down show today. It's nice and quiet. I got the door open, and well, I don't hear anything other than unemployment. All right. So, how are you enjoying your lockdown? The the Democrats are the ones that imposed it, but they're blaming Trump for it. Logic just makes perfect sense. This lockdown is basically the survival of the fittest. The poor are just getting more poor, and the rich are getting more rich. When the election's over and the lockdown is magically gone, because it won't matter who wins, the lockdown has to be over because they're blaming Trump for it, even though they're the ones imposing it. But when the election's over, you won't get votes either way by having a lockdown, because I think the Democrats think if we're blaming Trump for the lockdown that we're going to vote for them, but we have a Democratic governor who made the lockdown. Like all the lockdowns are from Democratic states. It's the president has nothing to do with your state locking down. So granted, most people are stupid, so they're going for the sheep. Well, we'll see what happens, and I don't even care who wins. I just think the lockdown is stupid because COVID isn't real, people. And now now we're in the flu season. Guess what? I bet you like half of the flu cases are gonna magically be COVID cases. You'll see. This is gonna be more bullshit with the numbers, because it's like when the doctor tests you, like you go to the hospital, like you have flu-like symptoms. Supposedly COVID, you get flu-like symptoms, right? So they're just gonna say it's COVID, because isn't there a government mandate where for every COVID case the hospital gets a certain amount of money? So they're gonna magically turn those flu cases into pneumonia cases into COVID, or whatever. I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure I've seen cases. I've heard cases before of records being falsified and tests being falsified. Trust me, they can make the flu or pneumonia a COVID case, and more people die from the flu every year than COVID. COVID has a 99% survival rate if you're over the age of 74, I believe. I believe it's 74 or 75. You have a 94% chance of survival rate. So at worst, 94% chance survival rate. Okay? And the country's locked down for that? That makes no sense. People should be mad. How many people have lost their jobs because of this bullshit? I mean, I had to move on to a different job because of the rules saying well, no, it's not because of the rules. It's because so many other people can't work. See, like my old job was based on other people having a job. So I lost my job because of that. But I was lucky enough to find another job. But I don't know. Like granted, it's closer to my house. It's just the fact that it had to happen over bullshit. But whatever. And then the job I have is a seasonal. So it's not guaranteed that like I'll be kept on. But I'm just saying, like, I have the ability. I have several job skills. Worst comes to worst, I can always give music lessons. I just don't want to give music lessons, but I can. But music lessons are a luxury. So like, how many people want music lessons when most people don't have jobs now? I mean, like, I walk to work, and traffic is still like relatively dead. Like, so that means the workforce is still like, I couldn't tell you the percentage, but just traffic now is so much more bearable. Like before traffic, going down these streets, man, it would, like, you gotta leave sometimes like 2 hours early if you're driving to a place, because that's how bad traffic is. Now I'd say you'd have to leave. I mean, I don't know, maybe like half an hour early. Like if you're driving somewhere, I want to say, because like traffic is relatively, I mean, it's slowly picking up, but it's relatively, there's a big difference in traffic now. And it's been, oh god, it's been how many months for this lockdown? God, it started in March. It's been 6 months. Yeah, so after 6 months, I finally noticed a slight pickup in traffic. Because before, these streets look like the streets of Ohio or the streets of New Hampshire, which is just like dead, like just like no traffic. Like now, there's actually traffic, but it's like regular traffic. It's not like, oh boy, I gotta like bring a lunch because I'm gonna be sitting in this traffic for 3 hours. Like it's not even close to that. It's just like regular traffic, like traffic that you would expect. Not like the crazy traffic though. How many times can I keep going over the traffic? I don't know, but maybe I'll stop. Well, yeah, I'm not even angry though. I'm just like I expect, because the thing about it, like because these politicians, most of them are like millionaires, and you're like, how? Because they're like public servants, and like they're not supposed to be making, a lot of money, because, well, I think they make like a couple $100,000 a year, like that's their base pay. Okay, but some of them are millionaires. Well, because they got their hands in like in other things, so even them, they benefit from this lockdown. Because like, think about all the small businesses that haven't closed down permanently. So who can buy this stuff up? Millionaires once again. So it's just the rich are getting richer. And I know if you're a business owner, like you're not necessarily rich if you're a business owner, because some of them are just getting by. It's just that they just want to, be in charge of their own finances. Okay, so you're like maybe lower middle class, but you own a business. Well, that business is gone now, because like you needed to be open to maintain the business. There's so many businesses like that. They have to be open to maintain it. A lot of businesses don't have a surplus of cash to like, last 6 months of doing nothing. Like when this lockdown is over, like like cities are gonna look so different, especially with like the small businesses. It's gonna be like this is the beginning of big corporation. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wow, I look really good in this dress. Sorry, I'm trying to imagine the girl I like, what she's thinking. Anyway, put that dildo down. No, but seriously though, it's gonna be this is the beginning of big corporations. How many small businesses that are now out of business? How many of those buildings are going to be bought by rich people, and or like consolidated into other businesses? I wouldn't be surprised if there's like I don't know, like a small food chain. Like when I say small food chain, like a mom and pop place that like maybe like three places goes out of business, then gets bought up by like a bigger corporation, and then that and all their stuff is implemented into the new bigger business. That's like one example. But even like comic book stores, I'm sure most of them, I mean, I know of three. I'm sure they're gone. I have to go look, but see, there's no reason for me to go to that part of the city because everything was locked down. But yeah, I'll do a follow up on that and see if like the local comic book shop is open. I mean it's not open because of the lockdown, but see if it's still in business though, because I can't imagine it's surviving. And then like I started getting my comics via mail because like I'm not gonna do curbside pickup for a comic book. I want to go inside the store. Like all this stuff is stupid, you know. Like the for something that has a 99% survival rate, we are acting like it's a 50% chance survival rate. It's unbelievable how scared people are. Well, actually, it is believable because of the news. See, the news needs to be illegal because the news is just it's not really news. It's like it's spun in a way to brainwash people. If you want real news, you gotta watch YouTube. You gotta watch an independent or another source, but you have to watch an independent source who is not getting paid or has any I guess beneficial gains from like who wins the election. You know, like there's a reason why Fox News like spins stuff one way and CNN spins stuff another way, and because it's like, you know, they want to get ratings and they're trying to like cater to a certain demographic because you have advertisers, you have, you know, other like people who run the company, I'm sorry, the station, they have their own beliefs. You know, there's a lot going on, and like everyone who's like, you know, a political expert, they're not experts. They just have enough pull, enough power, and they want their opinion to be the right opinion. So it's like a lot of these news stations are just echo chambers. So you got to avoid that too. But after this lockdown, things are going to be different. Like I bet you there's going to be a lot more echo chambers. Like everything big business, big corporation is going to be a lot bigger after this lockdown. And I think that's why in these blue states, this is why it's happened, because I bet you if you did a financial background analysis and investigation of a lot of these Democrats, you're going to see that they have their hands involved in a lot of big corporations and a lot of big business, and I bet you somehow they are connected in with buying up these smaller businesses and other economic endeavors that have gone out of business, but they can buy it at a low price. I mean, even like Disneyland, or Disney the corporation, they are hemorrhaging money because they make most of their money from the overpriced theme parks. Those parks aren't open, or they're, you know, not allowed to be open the way that they want to open. Think about the movies. The movie theaters are closed, as far as I know. So Disney doesn't release their movies. Like they've already laid off 30,000 part-time workers. So that right there says something. But guess what? All the executives are still making their like full paychecks. That says something. It's all about the big corporation, the millionaires. So you have a corporation like going out of business, Disneyland, but the people whose paychecks are millions, they're still getting paid full like the full checks. The workers at the parks who make like minimum wage, they're all laid off. Wouldn't it make sense to lay off the fat cats running the place, or make them like, hey, you can't make $3 million a year right now. You only make I don't know. I was gonna say one, but that's a lot anyway. But you get my point. Basically, the rich still get richer. Disneyland is going bankrupt. The people who are rich in that corporation are still getting richer. The people who work part-time, making minimum wage, they just got poor. That's a perfect example of what's going on with this country. But people this country has too many sheep in it. So it's like no one's standing up for the right issues. We got these BLM idiots. They need to be like fighting for like real stuff, like opening up the damn city. No, they're like making it worse by rioting and keeping the city closed. I mean, there's a reason why like social distancing is like goes out the window when they have people protest, because they want those people to get sick. Who protests? Poor people. Let's get them even more sick. Like, people don't get it. It's like, social distance, wear your mask. Oh no, but you can go out and protest. Does that make sense? Keep your distance 6 feet apart. Well, but you can protest though. Forget about all that stuff. Magically, the COVID doesn't exist during times like that. And then what happens over time? There's always a spike, and then they use that spike of the quote unquote disease that has a 99% survival rate, and use that excuse to keep the lockdown going on more. It's like the Democrats, these fucking blue states, they got these sheep under control. Like, all these people are just making it worse. They need to make protesting illegal. I mean, if we really cared about this country, instead of the evil people in charge who only care about money, protesting, at least for now, because I think protesting is stupid because it doesn't solve anything. If if you want to make change, you use your wallet. Okay? Gathering in front of a court building yelling crap does nothing. But not voting for this judge, not financially supporting whatever they support, that affects change. Okay? You want, like, I don't know, just a simple example. You want them to drop the price of video games from $70 to $50. Stop buying $70 video games. If you stop buying $70 video games, they'll stop making $70 video games. They'll, like, drop the price to whatever. But, it's just, it is what it is. So we got the sheep. For some reason, the sheep are in charge, and the sheep herders are evil. And the sheep don't get it, because once again, the average person is stupid, and it's just perpetuating this whole situation. And you're lucky if you live in a red state, but the blue states are suffering, and it's really hurting the economy. And worldwide, though, the economy's hurting worldwide. I mean, America is, it's a big, America's a big chunk of change, And then, like, other countries are suffering from, like, tourist, because, like, some countries make most of their money from tourism, and all these bans are hurting them. I mean, it's a worldwide thing, and, like, the media worldwide has people scared. Granted, I don't watch the news, but I'm not scared of something that has, and first of all, I don't even believe it exists. I don't think it's real. I think it's the flu or pneumonia. And how many people die from the flu and pneumonia? More than COVID. I don't know the exact numbers, but a lot more people die from the flu than COVID. That says something. You're more likely to die from the flu than COVID. But we don't have a lockdown for the flu, so why we have a lockdown for COVID? Right? Pneumonia is more deadly than COVID, but we don't have a lockdown for pneumonia, but we do for COVID. Okay? Don't more people die in auto accidents? We don't have a lockdown for cars, but we have a lockdown for COVID. What's wrong with everyone? It's because you watch this fear porn. I mean, once again, the average person is not smart. The average person can be brainwashed. And this is proof. I mean, like, Donald Trump is right. I mean, the news, this fake news, I mean, people gotta, like, wake up and think for themselves. But thinking for yourself is hard. That's just how it is. Welcome to America, people.